go ahead and call the previous city council meeting to order. It is now 6:09 p.m. And Ms. Dickey, would you certify the quorum?
Councilman Rowland.
Here.
Councilman Randall. Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Wendy Williams.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Barnett.
Here. Okay, we'll have the invocation by Ms. Cross. Would you mind giving us an invocation, please? Yes, ma'am.
Father God, we come before you with humble hearts and bowed down heads. We come thanking you for this day. Thank you for everyone that have gathered here for a purpose, and let it be done in the way it should be done. God, we pray for this community. We pray for this city. Bless us all one by one and then together. In God's holy name we pray. Amen. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now have citizens' comments. We have, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, to Commissioner and members of council. The mayor asked us in the planning and zoning committee to ask the council to support the funding of a flooding problem that we're having. All the water's coming off of University Drive on this end, going down Bell Street, goes down to the lake, under the highway and under the railroad track and across there. It's not going anywhere because it needs to be dredged out. So we want to make you aware of that you can support the idea that that should be funded. Now, that has been dredged out before, at least three times on record that we can find. One time by the city workers and twice by a contractor named Curtis. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The main issue that I'm here to talk about tonight is the development on Richards Road. We suspect that part of the flooding problems that's going on is coming from that site, and we haven't seen what they're doing, and we haven't signed off on it, and we can't find anybody else who has signed off on it. The city engineer said that he did not sign off on it, and also the fire department is not signed off on it. So we don't know what they're doing, but they're doing 3-story buildings with a narrow space between them, almost like an alleyway. I question that. I question if they put in a proper retention pond to deal with the water. This last rain, there was more water coming from that direction than we've ever seen before. So I don't know if that's because they have interfered with the natural drainage going onto their site or off of their site, but something is going on. And we think they should go through the proper procedure of having the people responsible to review their drawings and make sure that they are not creating a future nightmare for the city. Thank you.
Mr. Joshua Muhammad.
How you doing? I read once about a certain African tradition when a child misbehaved. As punishment, the village members sat in a circle and reminded the child of all the good deeds that child had done, because they believe that child is inherently good and wish to encourage that child to act accordingly. The young leadership that is blossoming in Prairie View is an answer to a prayer of our ancestors for a generation that will come that will be fearless enough and strong enough to free us from the grip of our oppressors. It is our job to protect their future from an external enemy, an internal enemy, and even from their own mistakes. So I'd like to encourage us to protect our future, because whatever internal differences that we have with each other, there is a common external enemy that seeks to stop our rise by exploiting our division and exploiting our mistakes. And they do that by coming after our children. We can also take part in the destruction of our future when we aid in the undermining of our own young leadership. So let's be mindful of what news we spread and the intent in which we spread it, because it is our job as a village, as a community, and as a people to protect our children and protect our future. Thank you.
Ms. Dickey, just these two?
Yes, ma'am. Any more citizens' comments?
Any more citizens' comments? Okay, we'll move to number 1, consider and take action for the approval of meeting minutes for the regular city council meeting on March the 12th, 2018. What is your pleasure? Ms. Dickey, will you show that Councilman Randall was here at 6:15?
I have, make the motion, I move to accept the city council meeting for March 12th minutes with any necessary corrections.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready for a question?
I have 3 unread
Okay.
One, on number 4, it read, Mayor Allen asked to skip. I think we didn't take action, so we just need to either say we postponed or we didn't take action, but that verbiage needs to be changed and Mayor Allen asked to skip.
No action.
Yeah, just put no action. Number 9, we discussed it. It said we didn't have any action, but there were some things that we were supposed to get, and that's not identified here in the minutes. And so there were some things that we said we needed to get in reference to the tree trimming. And so that's what we asked for is not outlined. And so I want to make sure, I have something from August 26, 2014. Minutes, and so hopefully council, I mean, y'all have seen it before, most of you have voted on these before, but it has where the format, where we have a consistent format as far as like what was the agenda item, what was our action, and what was our council's action, because on the minutes it says like, they'll have the motion, they'll have the second, and then like on the minutes for this meeting, it says the mayor call for vote, and then on the last month's meeting, it said like it was a unanimous vote, and so we just want to make sure that there's some consistency to our format, and if I could submit this format for council to, just the format of like all the questions that are on the agenda items were highlighted or bolded, and then it just kind of reads very clearly where to submit that. So those are my written.
Any other unwrittenness?
Are you making that change to number 9?
Yeah, well, I don't, we had a conversation around number 9, but I don't see none of that here. It just says,
So either accept these, make a motion to change them, or deny them until they can come back with whatever changes you want. like you did for number 4. So you had that specific change. So you made that motion to accept the minutes with that change for number 4. Okay? For number 9, same thing. So if you have a specific language that you want council to consider, then now's your time to ask for that.
We made several recommendations on number 9, which is what I'm saying, that doesn't read here. So that means, do we need to keep it off and bring it back, or what do you?
If there's gonna be multiple, the things that are not in here, that's not like a simple one sentence thing like before, then these probably need to be revised to reflect whatever was said during that motion. Does that make sense? So that you get a complete,
So is that something that goes into?
it would go to the city secretary too. So we could table accepting the minutes until, table the minutes until number 9 is changed to reflect what was stated at the meeting. And that could be your action, is to table them for that reason, and then they'll come back. Those listed out. Does that make sense? We did a motion to accept.
Right, for the minutes to be accepted with the necessary corrections.
Vote that down and then.
We could die for the lack of, do we have a second?
Yeah, we have a second.
We have a second, okay, so could die for, okay, so we're in discussion, so we need to do that motion. And if it dies, because no one votes on it, then we have a second.
Any more on the regular list? Question?
Okay.
The Grapevine City Council meeting minutes
So it dies.
for March the 12th, 2018, dies for lack of.
It would have a second, die for lack of. Vote.
Okay, so I need to put that back on agenda
Correct.
for next week.
If that's what, well, now we have to have a,
No, because we have to vote on them.
well, that's what we're about to.
Right. So the motion is to approve the minutes at the next meeting. Why wouldn't we just have addressed number 9? We could have.
Because you're not giving the verbiage that you want for the question, so that gives you an opportunity to clarify with exactly what you want the amendment to say for the amendment to read. You could be very specific with your original amendment, but that amendment, there was no clarity on the amendments that you want to make, so.
And may I speak? In looking back at the tape, there was an hour's worth of discussion on this topic.
Right, but to put no action, that is what I,
Well, that's on number 10. Number 10 says no action.
Number 9 don't say it.
no, number 9 just said anything. That's what I'm saying. We had a discussion whether it's not on here, or even a piece of it, and so, is this something, because we asked for something to come back up, because we're supposed to be getting a list of the communities, the contract, several things, because we didn't vote on this, so this is look outstanding. And so, in the minutes, those need to read that was what was there.
Would it, let me ask you this question, would a notation under number 9 saying that,
Maybe he's asking for, just to put under there why,
no action taken because there was additional information needed, would that satisfy that? I know there was some specific stuff, but I'm just asking, is that too general? If it, we said no action, was it tabled?
No, it was never tabled.
Yeah, because it was on there to discuss and approve, and we discussed, but we didn't approve, and then we asked for it. And so I'm saying, if this is the minutes, meaning if someone that wasn't at the meeting, and they looked at this item, this is the same item, and it shows that we didn't do anything on it.
Because he was also supposed to turn in his bill, because we were gonna pay him for the $12,000 that he had done it after this already.
I'm just trying to see if there's a way we can salvage tonight. So if there was a notation, okay, so after, like, let's look at items 8 and 10, they both say no action on both of those, okay? There's just one word. So if this said, no action because further information was requested by city council members to follow up at a later meeting, would that,
And that would be sufficient.
would that be sufficient? Okay. Did you get that, Ms. Vicky? Okay. So do you wanna make a motion with your number 4 and then that language, and then would that satisfy the minutes?
I move that we approve city council meeting March 12th minutes with the necessary corrections to number 4 and number 9, reading that city council discussed to postpone until we got further documentation.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Are you ready for the question?
Question, I have unreadiness. I don't know if that was the council's pleasure as far as how the minutes read. I don't know if y'all were able to look at like the format that we had before.
That's a little separate, so they give on the format, that's a separate issue than the substantiveness of the minutes.
That's all I have.
Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. We'll move on to number 2, discuss and take action to appoint Mr. Curtis Anderson to planning and zoning. And we have a copy.
This appointment is coming to replace Mr. Anderson. It comes at the recommendation of the planning and zoning board.
Yes, that's correct. You want me to comment on it?
I'm just asking if this is y'all's recommendation.
Yes, it is.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Is the entire committee fully staffed with this appointment, or do you have any additional vacancies?
We had one vacancy with Dante Carter going off. We recommended that Curtis Anderson would take her place.
So your committee is fully staffed with the amount of people needed to?
That's correct. That's correct.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve the appointment of Mr. Curtis Anderson to planning and zoning.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. You ready for the question?
Question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Number 3, discuss and Mr. Curtis Anderson.
Oh, I said thank you.
This is Mr. Curtis Anderson, who will now be one of the new committee members on planning and zoning.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity to serve on a committee for the city of Prairie View. My dear home, where I was born many years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 3, discuss Simeon's smart meters process, maybe cover in Smart Cities grant with Chad Noble.
Mr. Nobles had a conflict, he couldn't be here today, so I would like to move this item be tabled to the next month.
Second. He's not coming?
Yeah, he's having.
There's a motion to, I have unwritten, so we can.
Are you ready for the question?
Well, question, I have unwritten. Even though he's not here, when we had a presentation from him 2 months ago. When he comes, we're looking to potentially look into that contract, and I think it was like $29,000.
Right, if we don't proceed with the project, it's like $29,000 for the study itself, so.
So do we, the reason why I ask is there anything outside of him that we, since it's on the agenda, that we need to find out? Do we need to talk about, do we have the money? Do we need to all the other, since it is on the agenda.
I want to discuss it with him.
No, it said discuss RMS process. And then, but see, this is also reads, this is not the motion we made, so I don't have to get into that. But I'm saying we have the ability to discuss this, so hopefully, but I know he's not here, but, you know, again, we're gonna need some additional information. So I don't know if you want to just take, if you want to table it, or do you want to use this opportunity to talk about it, I don't know.
If he's not here to discuss it, which is the agenda item, so what I'd probably recommend for council to do is, I mean, at the end of the meeting, have a specific agenda item for the next meeting that is
We did
quoted.
that.
I'm just giving you my
That's what I'm saying,
advice.
that's why I'm saying we, since it's on the agenda, we have that opportunity now. But I'm saying, Mr. Nobles is only gonna discuss from his company's perspective and a cost. There's a perspective that we should be considering for the citizens and for our budget's sake, that we have not done that. And so I'm saying, we don't need Mr. Nobles to have that conversation. So I'm saying, do we want to?
You don't need him.
We gotta make an agenda item, because on the agenda,
Yeah, on the agenda it says we can.
nah, it says wait at the end.
This isn't even close to.
But, y'all do, we did put this on the agenda, right, to say specifically? And so, okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay, so
Call for the
yeah.
question.
All those in favor? Those opposed?
Uh,
Okay, so number 3 is table. Departmental reports. Administration, Ms. Dickey, anything?
The only real, item that I have, one of the candidates for the position 4, position did officially drop out of the race. Mr. Nashawn Edwards, he's got some other commitments at this time, so he's gonna go ahead and drop out of the race. So I didn't want to let everybody officially know that. Ms. Cortez, and some of you may have seen her this week, is back with us. Glad to have her back and moving on our new permit system, and that's what she's pretty much dedicated herself to this week in working on that system.
The new who?
I'm sorry,
The new what?
permit system through iWorks.
Okay, anything else?
Vicki, as far as the election, has everybody been contacted and accepted the position as far as the judges and alternate judges?
There is only one that I have yet to speak to, and I've tried, so, and I will continue. There's still one. Everyone else has agreed.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Dickey? Anything else, guys?
I had if this has to do with administration, it had to do with actually the permit system you just talked about at the last meeting. Attorney Cohen walked us through the city's permitting process. And we also had the mayor confirm the city's permitting process. Is Ms. Cortez going to be handling the entire process, or what is that gonna look like
Administrative.
administratively? Okay.
Yeah, it's a new system that she's having to learn.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, JJ?
No report, just a point of information. Last council meeting, Brian, Councilman Rowland, you had asked for a report supporting one of the mayor's statements about the savings on the new bonds. I don't have it with me, but I do have the document. And what I will do is I can email it to Ms. Dickey tomorrow, and she can email it to each one of you. That's okay? But I do have that document.
Thank you.
It was part of the analysis that the bond writers put together. So we do have that.
Thank you.
Municipal court, Ms. Alexander. Okay, Chief Solomon.
Just mention a couple of things, and then I'll be done. First thing I want to talk about, we've been seeing the recent police shootings. Again, you've seen the one in Greens Point, you've seen the one where the gentleman was shot in his in the backyard of his grandmother. After internal investigation of at least 4 police shootings, what I found doing those shootings, you've either got, it's either evil, a lack of training, or fear sets in with that police officer. What we're going to bring to Prairie View next month, I think about the middle of the month, we're going to bring some simulation training. And we're going to ask you guys at that first simulation training to come out and to go through that simulation training with us for the first time. Simulation training, I've done it over the years. It was a must in just about every department I've been in. And what you do, it puts you at real time in a situation. And it gives you time to think. It gives you those minutes and those seconds that you need to make a good decision. And like I said, I've been an investigator, an internal investigator, at least in 4 shootings. And all those shootings involved a weapon. I've never been involved in a shooting where there was not a weapon produced. So we'd like to bring that training. We're going to bring that training here, and we're going to invite you guys out to be a part of that training when we bring it here. Because what we're getting, like I said, it's either evil, a lack of training, or fear. Because fear can set in pretty fast when you're out in a situation, and then you do things that not necessarily should have been done in that situation. And so we'll bring that training, and we'll let you guys know. I just didn't want to hold it back until the next council meeting because the training may be before then. The other thing.
Excuse me, do you know if it's gonna be during the day or after?
What we're going to do is we're going to make it on a Saturday, so you don't have any excuses.
All right.
You don't have any excuses. What time Saturday?
It's like shoot, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, look, everybody's Saturdays are free, you know why?
Okay. Well, I mean, you as a police officer, you've probably been through some shoot, don't shoot. You've been into simulation training. Have you done over 1,000 simulations?
No.
If you're not done over 1,000, then you need it again.
Okay, you said it's on Saturday.
Saturday morning.
I'm not free on Saturday.
Saturday morning, or whatever. You tell me when it's good for you, and that's when we'll have them come out. But if you can't make it, that's fine. But we'd like for you to be able to go through that and take a look at it. The last thing is on the ordinance. They've looked at about at least 50 violations. Officer White is now putting those violations into the system. After those people have gotten their notice, after about 10 days, then they will send them a notice and a citation after that. So he is working on that. It's kind of a slow process, but it's being worked on. Any questions?
You got a question?
We good?
I have a question. Due to, and I was going to I'm drafting my email with my questions.
Okay.
In the email I sent you about the active shooter,
Okay.
what did the department, in any of their meetings over the last week, the city of Austin had a lot of bombings, but they had some bombs, threats or scares and things that happened in the city of Austin. Did we do anything, or did we have a conversation about some of the things in case some things happen in the city of Prairie View?
We have a meeting on Wednesday. All these guys were sent out bomb threats because people approach bomb threats a little bit differently these days. Because if you'll get a bomb dog, most people won't send their dog in to search for a bomb unless there is a bomb. What you normally do in a bomb situation these days is you don't just clear out a building. What you do is you take the people who are there every day, you partner them with an officer, or you partner them with somebody, and you go through that building. If there's anything unusual that's not there, then that's when you start making your determination whether to evacuate the building. I once seen a college that was evacuated, and the people, it was just chaos. So it shouldn't be done that way. So we're going to talk about bomb threats and things of that nature in our meeting on Wednesday. And as far as our training with the school situations, we're going to be doing that countywide. So,
Thank you.
okay.
I just want to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
You know, I always like to leave with something positive. As always, the visitation of the officers was phenomenal. The best I've seen in a long time, so I want to just commend you and commend all of the officers for their hard work. They're definitely making their rounds, and they're definitely being present in the community, definitely being a positive place in the community. So I commend you all.
Appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Okay, where is that here? Public Works.
Okay, thank you. Try to be as brief as possible.
Thank you.
All right, in front of you, you have the March 26, 2018 operations report provided by USW Utility Group. Compliance overview, we got the annual water use survey filed with the Texas Water Development Board. All the bacteriological samples were taken for the month of February, are in compliance. USW Utility Group has received and filed the monthly production to the Groundwater Conservation District. We've also performed the monthly grease traps inspections in the city. We have filed 3 unauthorized discharges to TCQ due to mechanical failure, storm-related power failure, and we had a force main repair at Old Houston lift station. Operations overview. We received confirmation of reimbursement from TML on the Richards Road lift station in the amount of $23,274. So there should be a check issued to the city of Prairie View. Old Houston lift station repairs will fall under FEMA. There was some discussion last month whether or not those repairs will fall under FEMA. And yes, they will due to Hurricane Harvey. The damage that was done to the control panel was due to the storm. So everything that's related to that, the pump failure, the control panel failure, all the unauthorized discharges that we had to clean up, all that will roll up underneath the FEMA. All right. We also had to replace all the batteries in the auto dialers. That's something that's done annually. It's just preventive maintenance. We want to make sure that if we lose power, that those auto dialers work and we can get out there and assess the problem if there is one. We also responded to 3 RMS callouts that you'll see in the work order summary. And then we also finally got the lift pump back at Old Richards on the other side, on the north side of 290. We finally got that lift station 100%. There was a lift station pump that's been out since last October, from what I understand, before we even took over operations. We had to find this pump, figure out where it was at, get it repaired, and so it's finally back in service, and that lift station is 100%. Behind the work order summary, I just attached a couple of photos. I try to get out in the field anytime we have issues and see what's going on, put my eyes on it, and take photos. That way you all can see what's going on as well. This is Old Houston lift station. This is the force main that the city workers helped repair. This was something that they could do. That way there was an additional charge to the city. We just had to control the lift station, turn off the lift stations, make sure there was no flow coming in on them, make sure that we had it plugged, that way there was no unauthorized discharges or anything like that. But we were able to get that force main repaired, and it's back in service. On the third photo that you're looking at, that's that controller that was damaged due to Hurricane Harvey. You know, this was the rehab lift station that we had done right before the hurricane. And hurricane came out and came down on us and did some damage to the